Hello, good evening and welcome back to the fish swap. Out on the seawall, yeah, I guess you call it seawall, out on the promenade. We're on Whitby seawall and we're, I don't know who would be daft enough, crazy enough to be out on a night like tonight. Luckily enough, we managed to be tucked in the back of Tom's car. Because if we get down here, it is absolutely howling. Like 35-40 mile an hour winds, it's howling. But we're out to try and catch a cod. Well, I'm out to catch anything. Anything. Tom assures me that he can catch a cod. That's what we're trying to do. There's a gent fishing 100 yards down the way and he's just landed like, how big would you say? Was it horse 3?
I'd give it a good £6.
6 pounder down there, so he's laid down the gauntlet for us. It is absolutely blowing a hoolie, so I'm about to tuck you up in the back of the car. I'm not going to be able to show you too much other than what you can see. But hopefully that will include a couple of fish. The conditions as they are, it's not bad for fishing where we are. We've just had a lot of sea on for the last couple of days and it's just dropping off. The only thing that's hanging on is the wind. Now, we can't really get out on the pier again because it would be absolutely howling on there because it's overly exposed. The area we're fishing, you can't see it, but when we come down at low tide, there's a couple of sandbars and there's like a gully through the middle of it. We're fishing into that gully, and that's because as the tide comes in, the tide's flooding. We've got down here an hour after low water. The tide's flooding all the way in. We're planning to fish it all the way to the flood and maybe a little bit over high water. We're just going to see how it goes. I mean, the conditions are extreme. Just got to be in it to win it, don't you? In a minute, Tom's fishing 2 big baits out at distance, and I've got 2 little scratching rigs down in the middle of the gutter. I'm hoping to pull out like your dabs, your flounders, your whiting, your pouting, your anything. I'm after species. I just want to pick anything up. I just want to catch fish. Tom's after the big ones. Yeah. As I bring my baits in, I'm not going to be able to see any bites because the rod tips are just like this in the wind. I'm having to go by time, so all I'm doing is I'm giving myself, first bait change was 20 minutes and the baits were untouched. So now I'm going to give them 25 minutes. After 25 minutes, I'll bring them in and change them. Unless I say like a hooping bite. That's what we're doing. Tom has done the business. I'm trying to get hold of this without getting a hook in me. Tom has managed to find himself a nice little billet. This is a little coalfish. The local name for him is a billet. Yeah. Look a little bit like a pollock, apart from they've got a straight lateral line where a pollock's lateral line has a bump in it. And the colour of them, when they get big, when they get to about 6 or 7 pound, the colour of them can go black. Just caught on a squid and black lug wrap. Get it drop back. It's good to see a fish, but it's not a cod, is it? This this isn't the same one. Yeah, Tom's managed to get himself another billet. This one's slightly smaller than the last one. Sorry, my hands are getting that cold now. I can barely do it with them. Same again. Squid and black lug. They're I think minimum landing size for these is 35 centimetres. They're not bad eating fish. People turn their nose up at them because their meat is a little bit grey, whereas like cod and pollock is white. Coley is a little bit greyer. It's getting put back. Well, my scratching rig has paid off. This is that's a codling. Yeah, lovely looking codling. Just caught on, would you believe it, a size 2.0, but not a 2.0, a size 2 flatty hook. It's tiny. You can tell this is a cod because of the little barb underneath. Well, you can tell it's a cod because it is a cod, because it looks like a cod. There you go. Fat as butter. This is about as small as you'd want to take them. This size and bigger is what we're after. Perfect. Now, I am quite superstitious, and I do believe that you should let the first one go. So I'm actually going to take this and let it go. But yeah. Glad to catch one. So there's no way you can see tiny bites on there. And the waves that are coming in here. Well, the scratching rig has paid off again. This is just a very simple 2-hook scratching rig, a 2-hook flapper rig. And there we have a dab. Not to be confused with flounder and plaice. Yeah, well, I'll show you. Dabs are almost, drop this back, they're almost see-through, aren't they? Just caught on a little bit of frozen black and mussel, just little tiny hooks, like I said. It was I'm not going to say I saw the bite because I didn't, but I'm happy to catch another species. They are a lovely little flatfish. Perfect camouflage there, it's sand. Just won't get it stuck back. Slackline bite. This one I actually did see the bite, because what I saw was a slack line. I saw like a nod like that, then a rod sprung up and the line went slack. And this time it is a nice chunky flounder. Now you can immediately see the difference between this and that dab, can't you? White underbelly, I mean it's twice the size anyway. If you've got a dab like this, it would be a specimen. Just at an awkward height. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. Lovely looking flounder. Now he has taken that a little bit deeper than the last one. The dab was just at the corner of his mouth. This guy has taken it a little bit deeper in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to disgorge her out, pull the hook out, and then we'll let him go. But yeah. Up, calm down, calm down. To unhook this flounder, I'm just going to use my little homemade disgorger. And what I'm going to do is try and get rid of that bit of elastic. I'm going to go in just in between the gill membranes and out the flounder's mouth. Wrap the line round a couple of times and then come back through. Now I'm not touching the gill membranes, I am just turning the hook like that. Now as it is, this one's potentially going to come straight out. All I've done there is I've turned the hook round so it's now facing back to front. If I can get this disgorger around it, I can pull it straight out. Just like you would do when you were T-barring something. There. Just like that. Alright. I'll just let it go now. Now that the wind's died off a tiny bit and it's only about 20 miles an hour, I'll try and show you a little bit what we're doing. My tripod, look, I've had to brace it with rocks just because the wind is hitting the rods so hard that way. We're having to cast out, kind of, wind's coming in this direction, tide's coming in like that. So we've had to cast out that way, so your leads are ending up down that way. So I've had to leave like a big belly in the line. So even though like the lines are going off in that direction, they're actually, the leads are over there somewhere, like up here and up here. And we'll just have like a big belly in the line. And the area we're fishing from is just, see the water down there. Tom's just up the way there. Yeah, so the area we're fishing onto, it's clean sand. There's a little bit of rock down in here where the defences are. It's clean sand, and we're just looking, we're hoping for the gullies. Now if there wasn't so much wind, I would like to fish with a rolling lead, just so that the tide and the swell and that could move the bait around until it finds a gully. The only problem with this is because there's this much wind, and it would hit the line, and that big belly of line, it would just drag your lead until it worked all the way right down until it was in the rocks. So yeah, that's what we're looking at. All that had happened, you see that bump? All that had happened with that flounder was I got like a nod like that, and then the line just dropped slack like this. What that showed was it showed the initial bite, and the fish had tripped out the lead. The fish had pulled against it and the lead had tripped out, so it drifted and it created slack line. Drop back bite or a slack line bite. Two types of bite really look for. You're looking for like a really positive one or a slack line. So yeah, really simple gear. It's the same gear that I use for most of my shore fishing. I've got a braided main line, and I've got on this one I've got a 60-pound leader, and on that one I've got an 80-pound leader. But yeah. But the scratching rig, I'm only using small baits and small hooks. Chances are, if like a 10-pound cod come along, it could eat one of those baits. It could still eat it because they don't want to turn stuff down. But the chances of me landing it, especially in all this rough swell up them rocks, is greatly reduced. Whereas if I was fishing with a big bait and big hooks and I hooked a big fish, I've got a lot more chance of landing it. So it just kind of shows that Tom's he's had 2 billet on that bigger baits, and I've had a codling and a dab and a flounder. So yeah, it depends what you're after. If you're just after catching fish, if you just want to catch anything like I do tonight, I'd go with the scratching rigs, because you've got much more chance of catching fish. Because you can catch a big fish on a small hook, but you can't catch a small fish on a big hook. So the dab and the flounder, he wouldn't have caught on them rigs, but I would, because I'm using smaller hooks. At least now you can see the rod tips, instead of them going like. There's a bite there right on rod. I'll leave it to develop. Now this one really has cheered me up. This one is a place. Yeah, I've had all 3 flatfish in 3 casts. Brilliant. It's not a massive one, it's not a keeper size, but it's still, a fish is a fish. And this one, thankfully, is hooked right in the jaw, so the hook can come straight out. You can see immediately the difference from, can't you? Is the shape, and also this one's got red spots on it. Now the dab had a couple of little tiny speckly spots on as well, but this has got unmistakable spots down there and on its tail. You can also tell because it's got little bumps up back of its head and that, and you can count the number of rays, but yeah, the standout thing for place is spots. Let's get it unhooked and take it back. Just a little tiny. Whoa, easy. Whoa, 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 calm yourself down. Bait elastic's caught around it. Bait elastic caught in its teeth. There you go. Set your back. I'll leave you there and let the waves come and take you. Don't miss that one, can you? That get you, Nick?
Yeah, nice shower.
You can see that there. Yeah, it's not often you'll see someone get so excited about such a small fish. Lovely little dab. See the difference between that place and that flounder that we've had. Well, it's like chalk and cheese. These things you're almost see-through. Absolutely ferocious, aren't they? I mean, the bite that we were getting, sure, it's not a very strong rod. The bite you were getting off it was a proper bite. Just rebaiting these little rigs here because I don't know what it is, there's something tiny out there, and all I've done, look, is I've just lashed a little tiny bit of black lug. These are just frozen blacks. I've just lashed a little, only maybe like a 2-inch section, and I've cut a squid head into bits. It's only a small hook, so it only needs to be a small bait. Yeah, it's keeps getting chewed to pieces. Now look, all it is, a little tiny hook, taking off a couple of inches of frozen black. And the little bit of squid, I'm only really using the tentacles for a bit of attraction on the bottom, just so there's something like fluttering around. So hook them halfway up and then use my baiting elastic to just give it a real good lashing. That's it. Something to flap around. Hook point's still proud as it can be. There we are. Just a very, very simple 2-hook scratching rig. Well, that shows you how well that works. That actually That's a little flounder. Look, stuck a hook in my leg. Shows you how well that works. Look, that squid tentacle is actually, it's come out of its gill. Yeah, this is the rig that I've literally just baited up and just cast out. And it picked up a little tiny baby place. I was almost inclined to say that this was a dab when it was first coming in. Yeah, scratching rig when you want to catch fish. I've not had anything massive, but I've caught non-stop. And I've got a bite on my other rod as well. So I'll get this one unhooked. I don't know if you could even count that as a codling. That is, that is a baby cod. But my word, how small. Use live baits bigger than that. You're complaining over there because you're not catching no fish. Oh yeah, but you're using them little tiny hooks for, John. You won't catch that on them little hooks. I have had enough. It's time to go. Yeah. I am a little bit tired now. We've fished all of the flood and it's over high water now and it's started to ebb off. And the bites have kind of dropped off a bit now. I've had bites non-stop. I've caught fish all the way from the start. I mean, the conditions when we first got here were absolutely horrendous. It was howling a gale of wind. Now it's the wind's completely died off the knout. It's just still see your breath. Yeah, it just shows you the difference there. Tom was fishing big baits on big hooks for a big fish. There just wasn't any big fish around. I was fishing small baits on small hooks to catch anything and everything, and I did that very well. I caught a nice place, a nice flounder. I've lost count of the number of dabs that I've had, and a codling and a little tiny codling. Just goes to show you the difference. I just wanted to catch anything, so I fished scratching rigs. If you just want to have a night where you just kept busy, that's what I would recommend. The baits were frozen black lug and mussel was doing the best. When the mussel ran out, I switched to squid, but it just didn't produce as many fish as the mussels did. Mussels, I think, were just a little bit more scenty. I hope this has been interesting for you. I hope you've enjoyed joining us. All the very best. See you later.